Hey guys, welcome back. Free pile, shall we? So as I look around this thing, the first thing I notice is that it is missing a gas cap. I also notice that somebody has been in here before me. They've taken that off. That's usually not a good sign if somebody's been in there and, possibly messed something up even worse than it was initially. That's always harder to fix. I also noticed that the cable is broken. The Z-bend at the end is no longer a Z-bend, so that is definitely not going to work. Let's have a look underneath. It's okay, a little bit rusted. I'm going to check and see if that crankshaft is not bent. The crankshaft does not appear bent, just by visual inspection. Pulled the spark plug. Spark plug looks pretty good. Not bad at all. Let's see about oil. Oh yeah, it's got oil. Can't really tell how much, but enough. So, what do you want to do next? Maybe shoot some gas in the spark plug hole and see if she fires? I think that'd be a good idea. So I think it's going to be kind of hard to start it with no pull rope. Maybe we should get to removing this tin and see what happened in there. So, I see a piece of the rope in there. There's definitely rope. So it's still engaged. I wonder if the rope just broke. So the spring itself still seems good, and I can see the rope in there. It seems like it just broke off. I'm gonna try and feed that back through this hole, get it out of there, and see how much we have left. Before I go replacing it, I want to see that the engine is gonna, run before I do, too much to it. So let me see if I can do that. Kind of hard to do this in front of the camera. I got a piece of it. I got a piece. Let me work on that. I got it. We got maybe 3.5 feet. I think that ought to be good enough for us to connect a handle to this and give it a few yanks. Alright, let's see if we can get this handle on. If this indeed comes back to life, then I will get a new rope and a new pull cord to replace the pull cord properly. Alright, I think that'll serve us. Let me put this thing back on now. And the next thing I have to do before we can try to get it to fire is deal with this cable. I can't hold the engine brake with the cable because the cable is broken, so I'm going to remove the cable and tie wrap that. Okay, that ought to do it. I'm going to start by dribbling some fuel down in there. That seemed to work. Alright, so we proved that it runs, and we know that it needs a pull rope, and we know that it needs a engine control cable, and we know that it needs a gas cap. I think I'm going to pull this carburetor off and see if it needs, and maybe clean it. It looks pretty nasty in there, and possibly see if it needs a new diaphragm for the intake, for the pulse jet. So once I've pulled this carburetor and I know exactly what it needs, I'm gonna look at the parts and see what they cost. You know, pull rope is kind of negligible, but you know, a carburetor kit or a diaphragm or whatever this may not be negligible. And a control cable may not be negligible either. Those control cables actually generally tend to be like you know, $10 or $15. So $10 or $15 plus whatever a carb kit is, $10, you know. I don't know whether that's worth it on a free lawnmower. Alright, there we go. And the first thing I'm going to do is dig this O-ring out, because O-rings do not like carb cleaner. The nice thing about these carbs is that they're fairly simple. Alright, we got a little bit of crud here in the filter. You see that? Yeah. So there's a little bit of crud there. And this screen, there is some crud there as well. But this diaphragm, it looks beat, right? I don't know if you can see it, but maybe there. It's not tight anymore. It's all crinkled and shrunk up and stretched out and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, see, it's not. Yeah, it's not even compressing the spring anymore, so I think this diaphragm is beat, and whether that was the ultimate reason why it was put out for free and why it didn't run, or whether it was the pull cord or the cable or a combination of all of them, I don't know, but suffice it to say, it definitely needs a number of parts that I do not have. So, I don't know. What do you think? Should I fix it? Well, how about this? How about I clean the carb and get it ready to go in case I do decide that I want to fix it. So, and even if I don't decide to fix it and I keep it for parts, it would be nice if the carburetor was clean and that I knew that it was a good carburetor, except for the whatchamacallit, the diaphragm gasket. Well, not what I wanted to do. Still a little bit of crud in there. There is an awful lot of dirt and debris inside this carburetor. I feel like somebody has definitely been in here before me, and not in a good way either. I think that ought to do it. Get a little bit more the outside here. I'm gonna get some gasoline to rinse that out with. There's all sorts of stuff came out of that. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, it's a few days later and I have everything I need to put this lawnmower back together. I have a new diaphragm for the carburetor. I have pull string here, which is for the pull string. I have a new gas cap here, part number 497929S. And I have a new intake gasket for the top of the carburetor right there. So all of this. Also I have a new engine brake cable. I think those are all the parts I need. So let's get to putting this thing back together and see if it'll run. Alright, let's reassemble this. Put the diaphragm on like that. And the spring goes in there. If the spring came off, just put that back. And the gasket, like that. And we'll put the screen back on, like that. And let's see. Actually, maybe we will do it like this. Put it on like this. Alright, once everything is all lined up, we can start putting the screws back in. Alright, those are all screwed back in, 5 screws, and this assembly is pretty much ready to go. Let's try the gas cap. Perfect fit. Let's put that back on the mower. Alright, I put the intake gasket on there, and this is the original O-ring that came off of the mower. And I'm just going to stick this back in here, like that, and we're ready to go. I'm wondering, did I put the diaphragm on backwards, or the wrong way, in the wrong order? I bet you guys are saying I did. I bet you guys are screaming at me right now. What do you know? I did. Oops, lost all the screws. The diaphragm is supposed to go on the bottom. On the bottom to seal those holes. Not on the top like I had it. So that was definitely a problem. Let's see how we do now. Alright, let's put this thing back on. So first of all, we need to get this, actually let's make sure this spring is hooked on here. There we go. And then this governor arm is a Z-bend. And it's just going to go in here. that. And the breather tube is going to simply go on there like that. This, can you see? Yeah, this half-inch bolt goes through here like that. Let's take this gas cap off. This 3/8 goes right here like this. That. Let me get a different ratchet for this half-inch, or different socket. That's better. Okay. Last thing we want to do is connect the return spring. You know what? I think I put it on upside down. Needs to go like that. So just like that. All right. Let me see. I think we're about ready to fire it up. So I'm going to bring it down off the tailgate, and I am going to replace the cable and put some gas in it. Alright, about to replace the cable, but this is a little bit crooked, so I'm going to beat that back into submission and then put the cable on, new cable on. That's a little better. Alright, let's get this old cable out of here. And we'll put our handle back on. And we got our new cable here. Alright, so the new cable goes in like that, Z-bend right in that little tab, and this plastic piece clicks right there like that. That's all there is to that. Now up here, just put that in like that. And put this back in. Come on. There we go. And we will tie wrap this at a later time when we prove that this thing works. So, feels pretty good. Let's put some gas in it. seeing it prime. Well, let me take a look at this. Alright, so I have the carburetor and tank back off, and there's something definitely wrong with this primer bulb, something wrong with probably the check valve inside. So this video is getting kind of long, so I think I'm going to call it at this point, and there'll be a part 2. So thanks for joining me, and if you like these videos, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on part 2.